Attention, little people, I have an announcement.
These commentaries were originally recorded from April to June of 2024. I love the show and people and the focus of the positive, but with all that said, here's what is more. The guests love the show and people too, but are allowed to speak their mind. The critiques they share and opinions they bear are only theirs, not mine.
I think you mean ours?
Well, yeah.
Opinions are kinda like jellyfish, shiny and they're floating and change shape a lot. Not all opinions shared banter reflect our true and current thought. These have been re-edited to keep the commentary in sync. I only muted what I wanted to cut so the track can show a link. So if you hear some silence, you'll understand why, folks. And me and Kev apologize for our incessant inside jokes. Lastly, not all commentaries turned out as good as others. Some days it didn't flow as well, but we always recovered.
And if you're not watching the show along with our commentary, you might be confused as to what we're talking about, which is kind of a given. But if you're like a crazy super fan who knows every detail of every episode, have at it. With all of that out of the way,
Enjoy the show!
VeggieTales Fan-Commentaries.
Okay, Finn.
Okay,
Finn. It's time for the commentary.
It's time for the commentary. This one has the proper intro, which is nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of a proper intro, I'm Finn.
And I'm Kev.
And we are watching
Josh and the Big Wall.
Josh and the Big Huge Wall. Created by Phil Vischer and Mike Naraki. I miss when they said Philip Vischer and Michael Naraki.
Yeah.
real sophisticated. I guess as the show went on, they were like, "Nah, this is too silly. We're just Phil and Mike." Phil and Mike fits better than Philip and Michael. Philip and Michael feels like they'd be like playwrights. Phil and Mike feel like the VeggieTales creators. Because, creating VeggieTales is
Look
no
at that
easy
little
feat.
bouncing boy.
He's so silly. We were talking about
A bouncing baby boy.
we were talking about the what were we talking about?
The theme
weather,
song.
The weather.
Oh, the weather. Yeah.
The weather. How's your weather?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Finn, because I'm sunny with a high of 75 since you took my heavy heart and made it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. And my weather is just sunny. Like a spring day.
Like the sun from God Wants Me to Forgive Them?
Just like that. Like the sun from Mary, Larry, and the True Light of Christmas.
Oh.
Who
Or
owns the bakery.
Maybe the sun from High Silk Hat?
Possibly. But that was just a representation of him. I guess so was Mary,
That's
Larry.
true.
God Wants Me to Forgive Them was the only time Sunny actually was a character, not a prop.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
So.
Why would they make him a prop and not a character? We were also talking about how good the shots are in this intro. 2002 version. Holds up, but looks weird with episodes like Bad Apple, Could have redone it in Maya. All that stuff.
What if the real Sunny was just the friends we made along the way?
I like it.
Hey, look, it's Bob and Larry.
Bob and Larry. Junior Asparagus.
See,
Wait, Junior
wait,
Asparagus.
what?
Junior
Huh?
Asparagus.
What?
I'm an asparagus, a plant of the
cucumber?
litigious genus.
Junior Asparagus, the cucumber.
Asparagus. And this is not cheese on my head.
I like.
Bean boy. Junior Asparagus, the bean boy.
At first, I thought you were going for Jean-Claude, and it became so inherently Doof. It sounded so much like Doof. As
You can call me Duke Doof.
Doof.
I'm a Duke now.
Joust for me with my joustinator. I like the expressions that they were getting to a point where the characters could be really expressive consistently.
Yeah.
But still subtle.
Something about Junior's voice sounds like especially cute in this episode.
Yeah. I don't think they pitched it higher. It might have just been Lisa playing into the kid trying to help an adult put on a big show type of thing.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like maybe the role of the character would affect the performance, and so in this, Junior's like, the little kid trying to help the pastor put on the sermon type of thing.
Yeah.
But he actually ends up doing, I think, more than Bob for the story. Bob just narrates.
I think so, yeah.
Junior steps in and takes care of business.
But he's the narrator. He's not supposed to get involved.
Well, Junior's a rebel, a savage. He breaks all the
right.
rules.
Junior's always done things a little different.
Didn't you see him in Remolded not burning when Nether commanded him to burn?
That's right. Yeah.
He was
I
like,
I'm
forgot.
not gonna burn.
and he stood there and didn't burn. Savage. Under eyelids spotted.
Whoa.
They got a little too
If
high.
you-
I like the shot. After this, we're also going to do Abe to stay consistent. I was going to do Mo, but I was like, you know what? I feel like my initial thought was me and Kev will do solo commentaries for Josh and Mo because Moses. But I think Josh and Abe also works because of the whole setup, I guess, of Junior and Bob going back in time. They kind of go hand in hand. You could pair, I guess, either of those. Josh
This is my
is
new favorite double feature.
yeah, Josh is what I would call a polygamy of an episode. Fits with either one.
Me, you, and Joe are what I would call a polygamy of a friend group.
Shh, shh. One of my friends from my church is moving to Kansas.
Aww.
Sadness.
How sad.
Haven't
That was
seen
very
him in a
random
while.
of you to say on a commentary.
I was scrolling on my phone. I should watch the show, I guess. I like
You should be watching the show.
well,
You might
I
learn
never
something.
for
Finn.
for clarification, I'm never on my phone during these commentaries. I am always watching the show. I just get off topic because that's how my brain works. Like I'm generally not seeing something. I'm just my brain works weird. I like
You aren't
I
going
like-
to learn anything if you're carried away.
True. I like Mr. Nezer's costume in this one. It's very
Yeah.
seeing Mr. Nezer in a Bible costume like that is kind of cool. I don't know what it is. It's just
Mhm.
not something I'm used to seeing. This might
I
have been
don't think
Mr.
it's revealing enough, though.
Maybe not. I feel like this episode helped Nezer to get into some non-villain roles type of thing.
Yeah.
Seeing him as Moses is strange. Also, since they kill him off, I guess it made people less sad because he was Mr. Nezer and kids already didn't like him.
Yeah.
Unlike Penniless Princess where they killed off Larry. I personally find Nezer very likable, but depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
I like the Goliath family cameo in the one tree in the background.
The adorable baby.
Chocolate cake.
I
Okay.
like cake. So, Finn.
The other day, I was walking home from my bowling league,
Uh-huh.
when I bumped into Marco, one of our TV friends.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm. And Marco has a question. He says, I don't know it word for word. I should. It's not clicking in my
Shame.
brain. What's he say? What's he say? What's he say? He says
Marco
that
says that when his baby sister blah 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 blah, Marco's mom says that he's supposed to forgive her.
needs to forgive her.
Well, if I can't do it right,
Shame on
then
you.
why don't you come back in?
Shame on you.
I'm not the one with the ultimate unofficial VeggieTales channel, Finn.
I guess that is pretty shameful.
Yeah.
It's shameful that this channel exists. Tom Grape, good character. What happened to him? Where'd he go? What happened to Tom? They used him multiple times. They used him as much as Scooter. They used him as much as.
I believe he went to. Yeah,
Why did they
he
never
was
bring him
definitely
back?
part of the side cast.
But they had Scooter was too, and they could have used him for something. But he never even made it into Maya. His last
Well, he
appearance,
was-
as far as I know, was
He
in a
was
book.
18. He was 18. Maybe he was
to
18.
college?
Maybe he went to college.
I guess it's
Yeah.
possible. I like how they just make it through the cupcakes every time. Their trajectory is perfect.
Yeah.
That shot of the cake, very iconic.
Now, what I don't like about this is how they're going to get their fill from the grill, but not their might.
Yeah, true. Well, maybe they meant Phil Swift with flex tape.
Ooh, true.
The honey looks nice. VeggieTales,
Mhm.
it feels like such a generic, cliche thing to say at this point, but they really did drop banger after banger after banger. And I'm trying to
Yeah.
imagine being a Christian in the 90s, looking for a Christian kids video, and putting this in and getting hit with like the most amazing music. Like, whoa.
All the time, I try
where's
to
this coming
imagine,
from?
like, because VeggieTales did have an adult following in the 90s.
Oh, it still does,
And-
obviously.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, even early on, they had this adult following, and I would love to go back in time and just be part of that.
Me too.
Back when they were putting out banger episode after banger episode.
Yeah. What
And
a
when
time
there
to
was
live
such
in.
a hype around it. I know, yeah.
Also, Madam and Josh, I feel like have the silly song pretty early. This is only
Hmm.
8 minutes into a 34-minute long episode.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
They didn't wait around. Madam also came too soon, I think. But they also worked the moment they put the silly song in. Worked. Back to what you were saying
Hmm.
about being in the 90s. That would be so cool to experience
Yeah.
it. Raid the Christian bookstores and get like multiples of every piece of merch that was
Right.
relatively affordable at the time.
Get
'Cause,
like
it
three
was
play sets.
yeah, it was affordable, you know. And then
Yeah.
go back to now, we'd be rich, man.
Yeah.
Think of how rich we could be. We'd make bank.
It's the perfect plan. Finn, get the time machine ready now.
Grab the
We
gourd!
must not wait.
We'll make it happen.
Would the gourds be me and Joe?
I guess, yeah. If you claim that. Did you claim that?
We're ROCs are gourds, so
True. But I'm not sure I'd want to be referred to as the gourd.
I don't know. I take it as a compliment.
I guess so, yeah.
Me and Joe are the gourds, and you're the bull's cousin.
I'm the bull's cousin. Can I be Archibald?
Yep. That too. Yeah.
Actually,
You're the entire song of the Cebu.
Can I just be with Archibald?
That too. Yeah.
I would love. Okay, if you could go
You're
out
kinda
on
like
the town.
Al.
If you could go out on the town with one VeggieTales character all day, who would you pick?
Ooh.
I might have to say Archie. Larry would be so fun too. Jimmy, they would all be fun, but I feel like Archie
I would say
bring a
Lunt.
vibe.
I would say Lunt, but I feel like he would get me in trouble somehow.
He would do something bad, probably something illegal.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would try to read the fine print and get out of it, but it would be something that was inherently illegal. Maybe Archie. I think Archie would be a vibe,
Yeah.
like I said.
Yeah.
Larry would be fun too. Bob would be chill, but he might be uptight.
Larry would be fun, but I'd always be worried about him, like, pulling his own eyes out or something.
Yeah, he'd be like a kid you have to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Bob would be too uptight to have fun. Jimmy would just
I don't know. When Larry and the gang aren't around, Bob can be,
but he might be
pretty
thinking,
chill.
I don't know. We might drive past like a church with no attendance, and he'll be like,
That's true.
we have to go put on a show in the church now and get the whole city to come. And
with
then Jimmy-
lights.
with lights and spectacles and God. I feel like Jimmy would be. He'd turn it into like a food road trip. He'd be like, "Stop
Yeah.
there," and I'd be like, "Jimmy, we just went to McDonald's." And he's like, "Yeah, but not that one." I think Paul Grape would be, "Oi, my back! Drive slower! Oi, my feet, my
Yeah.
toes! Oi!" He would be rough. Archie, it'd be Archie. I'd pick Archie.
It all comes down to Archie. Yeah.
I really think he'd be chill. His classiness would not get on my nerves. I would appreciate it. I have an inherent.
This is coming back to mind for whatever reason, but I remember Phil. He was talking about the Bob wants to help kids, Larry wants to help Bob thing, and he was saying, Bob gets frustrated whenever Larry does something that is not according to plan, and then he brings his friends in who are even worse.
Yeah. It's like the Muppets,
Yeah.
Kermit and Fozzie type of thing. I feel like that principle is so simple they really could have followed it, and could still be following it. Whatever. Junior's movement is strange in this little dance here. It looks better and remolded. Remolded did it better. I love Jimmy and Jerry's textures in the 90s. Their colors and their textures. I don't know, just the color of them looked really nice, and they never really captured that again.
Initially, I was like, "What the heck? They did not do Cebu in molded, but in remolded." But yeah, now I realize what you're saying. In Stand when he's dancing, my gosh, to die for.
Yeah. That's what I meant. The dance in the Stand was so
possibly
good.
my favorite part in the animation.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. The little shoulder shrug, the hat in front of him type of thing. That was crazy.
And he did the twist too.
The twist, yeah. The little spin around type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they rigged him to move like that. I guess it's possible. because Seaman Flip sent a video in my server of an animation he's working on, and I can't say anything about it because my server I don't think is extremely public, so it's kind of an exclusive thing. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, then you'll see it when it comes out, I guess. But it looks nice, and he has Larry do this little kickback type of thing, like a little heave almost, and it looks really nice. I've never understood how a Blender model works and how they get them to shrug and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Or do what Junior did in Remolded. I like their expressions, how they look at each other, like
what do I say now? Help me out here.
And Jimmy's like, I don't know. This is on you, man. You started, might as well finish. It always made me mad that they didn't just walk around the wall. Whenever I was little, I understood that wasn't the point of the show, but I still thought, why can't they just walk around it?
Well, I mean,
they have enough time to walk around it over and over and over again.
Biblically, it's within the wall. The city, like the wall goes around the city.
Oh.
However, in here, they don't really execute that very well.
No.
It's a phenomenal episode, but they really did not execute that well.
Because if it was surrounding the city, then they destroyed the city when they took the wall down.
Right.
I like how it looks from a back view. From a back view, it looks like I don't know what it looks like, but I like it.
And they walk past the city, too.
Yeah.
After they knock it down. So they didn't execute that very well.
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. Wait,
what a wonderful lesson.
They walked past the city?
I believe so. I mean,
interesting.
Paul's
getting too close to the camera.
Yeah.
I think Phil said that in a commentary once, but he's sniffing me. He's like, hey, back in Egypt.
Worse than the grapes of wrath, though.
A cheese headed. I don't know. Jimmy and Jerry's colors and textures never got this good again. They looked good.
Yeah.
In the VeggieTales show. They looked shiny in the 2010s. They looked bleached in Sweet Pea, at least Pants and Duke. Like, take a screenshot of Jimmy from the 90s, all textured and gourd-like, and take a screenshot of him from Pants, and it's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge difference.
That's what bankruptcy does to you. Takes all your money.
Who is that?
It's Barack Obama? Oh.
No, it's Archibald Asparagus. Oh.
Are you Obama?
Or Biden? You have now.
Are you
what?
a Rizzler or a Sigma?
Did you see Larry's face?
Both.
I'm gonna edit out my laughing over you saying that. So if somebody wants to animate that, they can.
All right.
That ought to be animated. Also, I appreciate. I guess it's kind of a standard, you know. What's the word for it? I guess it would be more noticeable if they didn't do this, but also kind of props that they did. When Larry's face down, they still move him when he's talking instead of just having him lay there. The VeggieTales show probably would have just had him lay there. You know, they would have just had him lay there and pan the camera on him. It's so strange to me that this came out in 1997 and it looks significantly better than the VeggieTales show.
I know, yeah.
More textured, better movement. Very strange. It just shows that a crew of people making something and caring about it is always more timeless than a corporation on a time cramp, you know?
Yeah, and I think Joe McFadden, I think it was him who pointed out that, was it? It might have been Phil. No, I think it was Joe. Anyway, somebody said that, you know, back in these days, there was so much more character in the animations because everybody felt like, you know, they were part of the company. Like, they felt a small sense of ownership.
Yeah.
Over what they were doing.
Yeah.
And so they took pride in that, and they wanted to make it as good as possible. Whereas animation companies that, you know, you're just hiring to do a project, They just, they want to do their job and be done with it.
Yeah, and I think it's less just the expression and more of everything about it feels so authentic and so like you said, like a team came together and really cared about it. I'm still focused on the textures, like how well textured they were. Like every shot looks nice.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember who it was that pointed this out, but somebody said that, like, in 90s VeggieTales, they did not have to make it look as good as it did. They did not have to put the work in because general audiences were very unfamiliar with computer animation. I know by 97 they were familiar with it. You already had Toy Story and all that. But like 93, 94, they didn't have to put effort into it. Audiences would have still been wowed if they had made it look as crappy as possible just to make a quick buck.
Honestly, yeah. No, you're right. But they didn't only do what they could do with their resources.
Right.
They got
pulled
creative enough to go above and beyond.
Sleepless nights.
Yeah. And they pulled plenty of visual stunts that made it more interesting, like the dancing and shrugs and stuff. I would venture to say that early VeggieTales, whether or not it's more technologically advanced than Toy Story, I can't say, but it definitely looks better to me. Not just
it holds up better.
Yeah, not just because it's VeggieTales, but because the character models can't really be creepy. And Toy Story was a fever dream.
Yeah,
creepy stuff. Good movie, but creepy stuff. That kid,
that dog,
the dog, and the kid. I did not like how they looked.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Andy grew up to be a stud, but he was a very ugly child. He's like the ugly duckling.
Like me.
Yeah.
Except I didn't grow up to be a stud. I just, stayed ugly.
No, you've always been a stud. Kev Messick, born stud, raised stud, stud to this day.
That'll be my debut album title.
Stud Messick. Kev Freaky Messick.
Kev Freaky Messick. Stud to this day.
Scooter Freaky Carrot. I insist that everyone call me Freaky from now on. Scooter Freaky Carrot. A mustache comb. Oh! What are you doing?
Getting freaky.
By reason of yachts in Ohio?
Somebody should animate that too.
I hope so. Anytime we do a funny ad lib, let's just name the animator that we want to make it. Okay.
I think that sounds like a Raven one. Oh, Whoop-Doo, yeah.
Whoop-Doo, you make that one. Raven, you make that one. Here, I'll make one for Raven right now.
Ravenclaw Nimbus sure is a silly guy, isn't he, Jimmy?
Yeah, he's a wrestler too. From Ohio.
With that yacht?
From Ohio.
Looking for the yacht in Ohio? Stick out your yacht for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity, Jimmy.
And he's so Freedom Tax.
I just want to be your Sigma. Freaking come here. Give me your Ohio, Jimmy.
I want to be Ravenclaw Nimbus's Sigma.
Depending on his age.
Yeah.
But assuming that he's above 18. Yeah, me too. Nice wall.
I like how they close
the best wall maybe ever.
the best
Beautiful.
wall. It is huge. It is huge.
Me and Philippe, we made this wall for the American people. Oui, Jean-Claude, the wall. It will not come down, no? Oh, no, it will not come down.
The only problem is she does not have a big, beautiful door.
But we do.
Also, the peas look different. Some of them do. Some of them have different noses. Or at least one of them. No, a few of them actually.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That one has a big nose. One of them had a bumpy nose. One had like a two-bump nose.
Huh.
Maybe the third one over. See if you can see him. So they didn't just copy and paste. They tried to make them at least somewhat different, which was nice.
Yeah.
Not terribly different, but a little bit. I like this shot. Also iconic. I feel like this is kind of a...
Who is Will and why are they firing at him?
The slushies are so satisfying to look at. They're so satisfying.
Yeah.
They're so satisfying. I want to I want to be. I want to stand there. I want to stand there and let the peas throw slushies on me. That didn't sound right. I don't mean anything. I don't mean anything weird by that. I just think that would be fun.
Oh, look, it is a slushy! So satisfying!
So glittery, no? Ooh, Philippe, no, I mean Jean-Claude. I forget. I found that glitter in your room. What was it for?
That is confidential information.
I think I have an idea. Ho, ho, ho. Let me see those underpants.
They belong to Jimmy God.
Jimmy Gord's underpants? How did you get Jimmy Gord's underpants, Jean-Claude? How did you do it?
You will never know.
I need to know, you pesky pea. Oh, I cannot call you a pesky pea. I am a pesky pea too. This is the truth, no?
I bought the used underpants from Jimmy God.
Oh, I don't know how you've been the man doing this, but you somehow did. Was it on the eBays or the black market? Ho ho.
The OnlyFans, no?
Oh, the Jimmy Gord only fans. I need to join, but I am a little low in my bank account. Me, I do not say me in my bank account, oui.
I always have a Frenchman.
Could you buy me a pair? I owe you back. I'll get you a special Christmas gift. Okay, goodbye.
What kind of Christmas gift?
2 pairs of Jimmy Gord's crop tops. Ho-ho.
2 Jimmy God crop tops.
You give me...
Yes.
If you just give me 1 pair of Jimmy Gord...
Okay, we gotta stop.
Mary, Philippe, Mary.
This could go anywhere. We must go away. Bye-bye.
Okay, who animates this?
That one is for the Seaman Slip.
Is God's way the best way. This land to us.
I'm gonna actually try to do it, Junior. Okay, I'm gonna actually put the effort in, and you got to do it too. I like that Junior's taken command. That shot of Scooter dancing kind of felt bland, almost kind of scary. He should have had like a face going, but he looked very empty.
God's way is the best way. Now
that's good.
I know he loves me so. His way is the best way. And that's the way for me. He gets very high in his voice.
That's good. I like that.
Thank you. God is bigger than the boogeyman. Your turn. God is bigger than the boogeyman.
I like it.
The Lord has given this land to us. No need to fuss. He knows what he's doing. We know that he will take care of us if we will follow him.
I like it. If you pitch shifted up, I bet it would sound just like him.
It starts to sound like Larry.
At times, but you know, Junior's a tough voice to keep up with. You gotta get really high up in your nose. Oh, that sounded pretty good. High up in your nose. Hi, I'm Junior. I'm Junior.
I'm decent at Junior. People make fun of me, but I sound okay. You sound really good too. I feel like if yours was shifted up, it would sound just like him. Like maybe like the two semitones thing. I feel like it would be identical.
Yeah.
And I feel like mine probably would need shifted too to sound right. Any impression really, I feel like would sound more like the characters that was shifted. The stilted hops.
Yeah.
Stilted hops. The slushy truck.
I feel like just about anyone. Yeah. I feel like just about anyone, if they talked with Bob's inflections, then just pitch it up or down, it'll sound like Bob.
I wonder if the podcast was pitch shifted.
I don't know.
Very Veggie, silly stories. Also, that whole shot was weird of Larry and Scooter looking at each other. Always felt so weird to me because they weren't standing side by side. Like, what was that? And why was it there? Bum bum. The peas are like, what was that? I like how embarrassed Larry looks.
Like, oh, well, if that doesn't do it, nothing will.
I feel like there were a couple seconds there where we actually harmonized with our screams.
It kind of sounded like it, but whenever I listen back to this, it probably won't.
Yeah.
There it goes. Bye-bye wall. Real dusty. I like that shot of Jimmy and Jerry with their sideways mouths.
And look at that. They look dusty.
They do look dusty. Saying words like months and mouths is very tough for me.
Yeah.
My tongue doesn't want to cooperate.
I really like Dusty Joshua. That looks really good.
I like commanding Joshua.
Yeah.
I like when a character like Larry, who's kind of almost passive and barely gets irritated, stands up and yells.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they look dusty. Bob looks nice. He looks like you need to clean in the sink. Like a tomato, you'd go pick fresh and go clean. Nice, like, crop dust type of thing. Like,
all right, let's see if they walk past the city, because I think they do.
Maybe they do. Iconic line. Makes me think of a What a Recorder
Fairly
Buddy.
certain they do.
Makes me think of a What a Recorder Buddy animation, because that gets shoehorned in sometimes at the end. He ran into the wall.
Yeah.
Nope.
I guess not.
I was going to say, I feel like I would remember if the city just showed
Do you
up.
think they just... Huh?
I said, I feel like I would remember if the city just showed up. So justice for the peas. They weren't really in anyone's ways. They were being...
Wait, no, I don't mean the city showing up. I mean, like, biblically where the city was, they walked through. Because it was within the wall, biblically.
Oh, yeah, right. I thought you were saying in the episode they walked past it in the end. I was going to say, I don't think so. The peas, I feel bad for them. They could have gone around the wall. They could have ran around it. They could have gone at a distance so they couldn't get hit with slushies. They could have lived in peace. Oh, in the book called Joshua.
Hi, QWERTY.
I've learned to there's a lot to say. Junior was scared of Angry Bob. He was like,
oh, sorry.
Now,
I like how they brought the story on.
Now we switch. You do the lead. I do the backing.
Okay.
You know that God's word is for everyone. Now that a song is done, we'll take a look.
There we go.
Beautiful.
The shadows were nice in the old ones too. I feel like they had less shadows as time went on.
Fewer shadows.
Fewer, yeah. I feel like, you know what? We'll find out in Abe. I never pay attention to the shadows except for in the 90s ones because they're so prominent. But I feel like after a point, you don't even see shadows. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there are some countertops where there are no shadows.
Possibly.
These are pretty prominent. The lighting looks nice. They did a good job. It just holds up very well. It doesn't look bad. It still looks really good. I feel like all of VeggieTales does, but this episode I feel like is the first one that really holds
Sweet
up.
Pea? All?
Well, all of the old ones, I mean. All of the 90s ones still are fun to watch, even though the animations, not up to date. But I feel like this was the first one that is so perfect that it doesn't even really feel outdated. I mean, little things here and there, but here comes Larry.
Aww.
Missed the whole show.
He's a cutie.
He is. I was about to say they should have made a plush of Larry like that, but I think they did.
They did. Yeah.
But it came later, right? It wasn't in the 90s. Was it in the 90s? I think it was 2000s.
I think it was either 99 or 2000.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute. That is filling
a
bland.
I'm 98% certain it was either 99 or 2000.
Womping in
I'll
the
go to
promised
Chick-fil-A.
land. We'll have our fill from the grill as much as we can stand. It'll be so great, we can hardly wait. Going to the promised land. With Moses, but we'll be feasting with Josh in command.
We're going to the promised land. The promised land, it's gonna be so grand. I feel like half of this commentary has been taken up by us singing along to stuff.
Well, I don't see any problem with that.
That's true. But all we do is eat and sing and eat.
All they do is eat and sing and eat. I recorded some lines for a project today where I'm playing Scooter, and you know what the project is, but I know we can't say much about it. And I am happy with how it sounds.
Nice.
I am happy.
I still have to record mine.
Sometimes I can do a good Scooter, and sometimes I can't, but I like how it turned out.
Nice.
Bomb.
What was the pop again? I can't remember.
Slushy? Oh no, it was Paul going.
Yeah.
Cool. Bye.
That's a good one. Bye.
On to Abe.